What's up, East Tennessee? Y'all know who it is. Chili My Car Guy down here at Hopper Auto Sales. At Hopper Auto Sales, we stand behind every vehicle we sell. And if we ain't got what you're looking for, we can go get it. We pride ourselves on getting you in the best vehicle at a price and a payment you truly can afford. Because at Hopper Auto Sales, all we see are happy smiles and happy customers in the best pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. So scan this QR code or head over to Hopper Auto Sales for your pre-approval and the freshest inventory.
Y'all know what time it is. You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and O. East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast. And stay tuned in each week. But enough of this. Let's get it.
Welcome to the lab, Coach Rock. We're here today with Coach Keith. What's on, boy?
What's going on?
Chillin'. Before we get started, we're going to be sponsored. Today's show will be sponsored by Hopper's Automotive off of Middlebrook. Phone number 281-5706. Hammock Deli in Clinton. And also C-Town Music in Clinton. C-Town Music for all your DJ needs, wedding, parties, anything you need, they got you. What's going on, man? How you first year of college treat you?
It's treating me well. I can't complain. It was a new awakening. This was kind of like restarting over, but it went well for the time being. Yes, sir.
Was it like a little adjustment for you? Because you came in kind of like early. I know you just started like as a freshman, but ended up starting one of the season. So you really been starting for 3-4 years. You know, since going back, starting over to the bottom. Like, well, how was that experience?
It's kind of like just like a reset button. When you go in, it's a different atmosphere. Everybody's bigger, faster, smarter. You're using more mental than you are physical. So it's really a game of knowledge, understanding that you know how to catch up, get back into that, into new systems, new plays, new surroundings, new people, new coaches. So like it was just like a restart button.
Well, what you think was some of the biggest difference going into high school to freshman that you've seen?
I would say, like I said, mental. In high school, you usually, like a lot of teams, they'll do schemes, but most teams, they play off talent and just having fun. In college, it's more so like a business. You have to know this, know that. No matter what position you play. Obviously, I play quarterback, so you have to know everybody's position. That's whether you're middle school, high school, college, but it's a little bit more sophisticated in college and then the pros. Only gets harder, only gets more difficult, and just everybody moves faster and is bigger. So,
tell me what a typical day for you would be like going to see like in class to study how to practice.
Okay, depending on the day, I have to get up at. Okay, so say we got 6 a.m. runs, I have to get up at 5 a.m. Get something in my body, eat. Do my little. I'll pray before I go, and then ride my scooter over there, and then depending on what time I wake up, like sometimes I wake up at 5:15, sometimes I wake up at 5:30, and you have to move faster on what time to get up. But then we get there, we do our runs, then we go to class, go straight to class, off class, go straight to meetings. Obviously right after lunch, go straight to meetings, and then go straight to weightlifting, meetings and weightlifting, then practice, and then extra film study, go back, eat dinner, go back home.
This is like a whole big schedule
all day.
So when did you find time to be a student and like seeing you playing? Tell us about that.
Oh, okay.
And going to that situation, what made you players to go with what you were with?
All right. So first off, when it comes to being a student athlete, you don't really get much time, especially during the season and like fall camp. Spring is kind of where you get the time, and that's where I did pledge this past spring. And I was always, since I was little, I knew I was going to be a new. I knew I was going to be a new. My pops was a new, and I just see how much he admired. And then I started to get into like what it actually, what it is. And I did it this spring because I wouldn't say I necessarily had time, but I had more time in spring than I would in season. And I just saw the opportunity, and I went through that whole little process along with school and football. It was tough, but I got through it. And But yeah, really, I guess the weekends, the other times are fine, and free time. That's about it.
With the, and I know, what been, I guess, what you would say would be a misconception that people have about D1 athletes, football players?
A misconception that I would say really just how difficult it can be sometimes. You know, like a lot of people expect a lot out of players.
Right.
Especially if like you're a sports fan, they expect a lot, but they don't know like what goes into it and how the daily grind is, and like how much hours and time you actually have to put into the game, not just put on stuff on Saturday nights and Saturday days and think that, oh, you know what I'm saying, he's supposed to be scoring touchdowns, but there's a lot more that goes to it. Like they just see like the good in it instead of like the backstory or the work you put in when nobody's around. So yeah, that's kind of like everybody, but that's kind of how it goes.
What was like, I know you got red shirt this year, so tell us like you get dressed or some of the games you dressed most season. What was that like going out there running out the tunnel for the first time, and like with your high school crowd bigger than your college crowd? I know like some schools people say like they don't really get nobody to come to the game. So
I would say, it was good. It was just kind of like, in my mind, I'm like, I'm just still thinking about ways to get on the field and what I got to do to, get out there. There's times I was definitely anxious, like, man, I just wish I was out, you know what I'm saying? But I had to sit behind a really good quarterback that we had this year from Ole Miss. So, I was just watching everything that he did and what I could pull apart from the game and just learning, visually learning and taking mental reps. But I enjoyed it and I was blessed to have every moment that I was given.
So you was like scout team quarterback like for our season.
Yes,
so what was that process like? Did you kill the defense sometimes?
It was fun. I mean, yeah, it's just like you out there having fun against a whole bunch of other. I mean, you got a couple freshmen, you got some sophomores and some juniors, like just balling against the #1 defense, and you know what I'm saying. You make a good play. I like anybody who's watching this. You go to college. Don't take it to heart if you get scout team first season, because there is a point of, working your way up. It's just kind of like when you start high school, like, you got to understand that there's people who've been there. It's not necessarily saying that you're not good enough. It's just saying that you need to work more at your craft and build yourself, like a platform and a standard for other people to see, how you can perform against guys who've been in college, who have just as much a high caliber as you do, or athleticism. So just, don't take it personal. If you get to college and they say, hey, you need to go on scout team, give these guys a look, just take it as, man, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to dominate, I'm going to take this every rep serious, and I'm going to do everything I possibly can to catch this coach's eyes. So, that's kind of how I did it,
So, I know you went to the portal. What was the process like? Like what was like your decision of going? Was it just playing time, closer to home, and what went on your decision of making the decision?
Okay, so going in the portal, a lot of people like, oh man, I'm kind of scared to enter the portal. The portal's like,
because some people go in there and don't come back out.
Yeah, exactly. I would say I wasn't scared to enter it. I kind of was just like, I was just giving it to God. A lot of people say giving it to God, but I genuinely was giving it to Him and just letting Him, it was, I don't know. I just, whenever I was in there, it was just like automatic. People just texting and calling me, and and I had a whole bunch of interest and a couple offers. And my decision with Indianapolis was, they were recruiting me out of high school, offered me out of high school. I had a couple of D1 schools, but I just kind of was thinking about, playing time, the quarterback room, being on scholarship, like the offer, like, I was just thinking about it. I mean, distance, it kind of does play a part. I was 5 hours away from home at UT Martin, so, Indianapolis is about 4. So, it was just a good deal, I just take a step at a time. Everybody has a different path, and I feel like, this is my path. I go there, set my mark, and, and whatever God holds in the future for me, I'll take that opportunity, but, that's yet to come, and I'm just blessed with the situation I've been given.
So what was it about Indianapolis, though, to make you want to go there? Like, was it because you had a familiarity with the coach already, and you got comfortable, like?
All right, so Coach Keevers, he's been their head coach for about 30 years. I actually they sent me up on there on the OV. I went on a couple of OVs this past, like with the portal this past summer. I went on a couple of OVs, but like they were, you know, they, like I said, they recruited me out of high school. It's really, you want to go where they want you. You know, you don't want to go where you want them. Like you want to go to a spot where they love your game, they love you for who you are. You know, it had something to do with that. And then like they have beautiful facilities, they win. Their offense fits my style. The quarterback that they've been having, he's a dual threat. So, you know, and they were recruiting me out of high school, you know, to be like kind of like what they've had before. Because Coach Keevers, he's coached a lot of dual threat quarterbacks, and you know, so, and they have good academic programs as well. I'm an engineer major, so you know they have industrial engineering. That's what I like, and they're a private school, you know, so.
How's it important for guys like, you know what I'm saying, like you said, like you went to another school and then like this guy recruited you in high school. So how's it important to keep them relationship, and even if you don't choose that school, but you gotta keep your relationship with coaches in case you gotta go back.
Yeah, so like if a coach reaches out to you, you know, you always just keep their like contact, keep in touch with them. Like, so when I was talking to multiple schools, you know, whenever I started to like kind of close my decision, I started to still keep reaching out to these schools, you know, just to touch base with them, and when they would reach out to me, I would still answer. I'm not gonna act like I'm too good and not answer you just because I found a home, just because you never know, like, even if the school that you think like that you committed to, they can also pull the rug from under you and go get somebody else 2 days after you just committed. You never know, like, you always have to keep that humble mindset, like, you're never too good for another school, because at the end of the day, like, you know, you need them before they need you. You know, there's millions of kids out there that wish they had the opportunity that you're wanting as well. So really what I did was I just kept in contact with these coaches, you know, until I made my decision, and I still have their like names and stuff. But I was just telling them, like, coaches kind of figure out when you start to commit or lean towards one of the other schools, because when they're like asking you to visit and stuff, like once you're getting closing down on school, you already know where you're going, so there's no point of visiting anymore. And you know, you just tell them, hey coach, I'm committed, but I appreciate everything. It's kind of
so going into Indianapolis, you be a redshirt freshman, right?
Yes.
So how you feel with the quarterback room that you walking into? How you feel you're gonna compete in them?
I feel good. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be just fine. The biggest thing is just getting down that playbook. It took me about maybe a semester or two to get down UT Martin, so I just got that down. And in college, everything's the same. It's just, you know, different letters and colors. But, you know, just getting the playbook down, getting a connection with the players. And, you know, the quarterback room is not really big. They got a guy who's been playing for like 3-4 years for them. He's a senior, and then everybody behind him is freshman. So, like, you know, I'm just going in there, counting on myself, betting on myself. I think I'm gonna be just fine.
What's up? So who are some of the teams y'all be playing in there? I'm not really familiar with the schedule. Like, yeah, what's it?
Honestly, I have to look back over that, but like, they play Grand Valley or somebody like some teams like that. I don't know exactly, but there's some of the teams.
Yeah. Well, I just know if you might probably get, like, you had a game against like a teammate or something, like which school something like that you might do already on Saturday times. I mean, you told me earlier you were like about an hour from the mine.
Yeah.
Y'all can be linking up.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Probably get some work and hang out.
Yeah. So who were some of the schools that kind of reached out to you when you went in the portal? Like, how did gotta tell us how to, because, you know, a lot of guys don't know how the process actually going out. So you gotta like put yourself in the portal, right? First, and then kind of how it go from there.
So like when you put yourself in the portal, you post it. It's just kind of like, I don't know, they have like a database or something, but they just see that you're in the portal and they start contacting you through Twitter, through text, through, you know, they ask you for your phone number. I had some schools like, I had Grambling, JSU, TSU, then I had a couple D2s, like I had Bethel, Tusculum, University of Indianapolis, and then I Dawson State. You know, I talked to Marshall. couple other schools. I just can't think of them off the top of my head, but that's kind of how it goes. They just reach out to you.
Right. So what you just show? You put like from a practice film, like a highlight from practice.
I put like a 2-minute practice film, 2 to 3 minute. You don't want it to be too long, but like about 2 to 3 minute practice film, and then scrimmage film, and then posted it like one day after I entered the portal, you know, and I put that up there, so how much years of eligibility I still had. That's kind of how I did it.
What's your thoughts on, I know some of the bigger schools and I'm not in business. What's your thoughts on the business side of about like what it's become?
Well, to be honest, I never really been like this, crazy, like, got like 5-star player. And I know a couple guys who are 5-stars. Like there's a quarterback named Jared Curtis out of Nashville. And he's a 5-star, committed to Georgia. We used to be on the same team, so I saw him like start from the bottom and like make himself, I really would just say like, and then Damon, I really would just say like, I will say sometimes kids do like Nico, like I think the greed gets in the way of them understanding that the game is just the prize itself. A lot of people just don't even get to play the game or get past high school. So like it's just like a lot of people really focus more on the money instead of actually enjoying it, get to play the sport, and like kind of takes the joy away from it. But like the NIL thing is good because it gets some people out of situations, that they're in. It's a big blessing to kids along with playing the sport they love. But I feel like there's some points and sometimes that people do take advantage of it. But I mean,
We asked Steven and Latoya, they were on our first episode. And they were kind of like the same way,
Steven's still at Kentucky?
Yeah, he's still at Kentucky, and Latoya at Austin Peay. Both of them probably going to start this year. They should have a good year. Both of them should have a good
got a couple sacks.
Yeah. What's been your most memorable moment in college so far?
I think really just the people, like when you got like transfer portal kids or when you just like are in that type of environment, you don't see most of the people like, and like it's sad because you get like a good relationship with this dude the next semester you're gone, like, and somebody else is right where he just was. So like I think just the people, and then obviously like when we scrimmage and stuff, that's all, like a lot of good talent playing against each other. So that's the most fun part, and then winning, obviously, winning. Or going into the big stadiums like when we played Kansas State, like seeing that environment.
Did you get to go to Kansas State game?
Nah, I didn't.
Oh man.
But I had we had a freshman who actually did. He told me about it. He just said it was crazy. It was maybe 100,000. I don't know. He just said it was running out of time. It was crazy and it was loud and
yeah, but that'd be dope. I got I've been a few stadiums. Man, bigger one, man.
But he was just like being on the sideline and being in uniform, and he played. So like it was kind of like, it's crazy. You know how most players say they can't really hear the stands when they're on the field. He said he did. So maybe it's because he's nervous. And it was the first game of the season. But
do y'all got a big game like that in Indianapolis, or you ain't really look at the schedule yet?
I haven't really. I couldn't tell you.
Was it a big adjustment? Because I know your pops. He be on you, boy. He's trick on you. What was the adjustment like when you just, from being with your pops and your mom on you, make sure you don't say to being kind of on your own and being your own man?
I'll say it. I mean, I liked it. You kind of get to be your own man. That's how you grow. I don't want to be under my parents' wing on my whole entire life. I like the fact that I got to go down there and learn with my own 2 eyes. It's not really, nobody really, genuinely, you got people who care about you, but you're really on your own, like in them situations, and because it's a business, you're going there by yourself every day trying to achieve a dream that other people got just like you. So, it's, and even with class, you go in there, you gotta make friends with people to get, to study, you gotta set a name for yourself. So it's just like a growing up. I liked it. It was fun. I still got time to enjoy it more, but I'm like it.
It was hard for me to go to class, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I went though, you know what I'm saying? I you know what I'm saying? I didn't miss a lot, but you know what I'm saying? You be like, man.
Yeah, I know.
You know, you know how it go.
Oh yeah.
Who you think? Who's one of the biggest influence in your life early in your career to be a coach, family member, whatever?
I'll say my brother. Yeah, growing up, I always saw hard work. I wanted to be just as athletic, just as fast and strong as he was. I mean, I don't know, like it was almost every day. I can't remember a day he didn't work out. You know, he got his other friends to work out, so that's kind of like where I got that from. Where I used to get, they would come over to sleep over and they'd be like, hey man, we getting up, we got to go work, we got to go run. It was snowing outside. I'll never forget it. And he just, you know what I'm saying, him and my pops, I'm driving with them, I'm thinking we're going to the store, go to the stadium and run. So like, you know what I'm saying, that's kind of where I got my work ethic from. You know, growing up with him and you know, seeing him be a star at playing DB and everything that he was doing. So
where he ended up? Where your brother played?
So he originally was at WKU, then he went to Murray State, injury, and then went to Lindsey Wilson, injury. So it was kind of like, and then he just.
He got the coach though.
He coached at Clinton. Yeah, he was a DB coach.
How was that with your brother coaching?
Oh, it was good. You know what I'm saying?
They on you. I know your mom be on you, but.
I'm talking about every practice. He was on me.
I came to a couple practices sometimes. I'll be like, he called me after practice. I'll be like, hey, coach, man, you got to use up on the boy. Like, you tripping.
Now that I look back at it, though, I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know, and them, it's really no different from college because it, like, you know, they do the same thing.
Oh man.
Yeah, so like, especially if you're not doing your job, or they'll just put somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So. But having my dad and my brother on the same, you know, coaching staff while I'm playing, that was pretty cool, you know. I think my brother did a good job because our DBs never really let up anything, not that I can think of. So, yeah.
You know, when you were in school during the season, I know you had like a bunch of curfews, stuff you had to be in, like.
Oh yeah.
You ever miss curfew? They put the tape on your door, like take your break.
So like fall camp is really the most strict.
Oh
my God, and it's coming up too. So like. I'm telling you, 6:30 or is it 6 something early in the morning? You gotta have. It's just straight football because so like summer to fall, there's like you got summer classes, but like it's just straight football. So like all your time you think I'm gonna be in the afternoon chilling. No, it's meetings, workouts, meetings, practice again, eat, all that. And then there's a regiment of what time you have to eat, how much you gotta eat, and stuff like that. So like, you know, there's really not. You might get off at 8. That's your start at 6. Get off.
And then you think you better like, I'm gonna get. Then you get to the crib, take a shower, it's a wrap.
Yeah. It's like there's no when you get back to the crib, it's not. You don't even want to get on the game, or you don't want to. You know what I'm saying? All you gotta do is go to sleep. So yeah, because you gotta do it again. So.
I was at Tech. I remember one time we wasn't allowed to go to the club during the season, and I was a freshman, so I didn't get to go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking they staying the night. I think it was at East Illinois, somewhere crazy over there. So I'm thinking they staying the night, right? Okay, we go out. But we in there chilling. I see Coach McAdoo, who was I think he was our D-line coach. Our defense coach, me and an offense coach. Never seen Coach McAdoo, bro. Got him better than quick. But my partner told him so I had to be at like 5 a.m. for like 3 weeks straight. Like 3 days a week. It was crucial. But yeah, I've been missing curfews. I stayed missing curfew though. But yeah. So good luck this season, man. I ain't gonna hold you. I know you got things to do. I know you're still working out hard. While you going back? When you go back? When you got to report?
June 9th. In about 5 days.
So you in shape for them tests? The fall camp test?
Well, I'm
gonna be honest. Take it like UT Martin, like first day, like.
Yes, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell y'all, look, it don't matter how hard you train. Them runs, I don't think you can't do enough to train for those. It's kind of like you get better while you're doing them.
I think it'd be like you'd be like on a test. You know, you taking a test.
Yeah.
Be like, I think it's kind of like the same thing. Though, you know what I mean?
It's
but you ain't lying though, but
the weights. All right.
Right.
It's cool. Like,
and like during season, like I said, fall camp the hardest work. Cause during season you don't really hit that much no more.
Yeah.
You know how many periods you're gonna be in, gonna be in and out. You know what I mean?
You know, like it's straight conditioning all summer, all fall camp, and then like you know it's just football.
And nobody on campus.
Nobody. Ain't nobody except that's it. Just straight us. And so, you know what I'm saying?
Like, you might get like at Tech, we used to have like they had like a couple of cheerleading camps, so you might get like a weekend or so, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's about it. If you got a girlfriend, you know, you see, or just in general, like you know, you're on campus and you see you just around a bunch of men. The one time you see a girl, you gotta flip out. It happens to everybody. It's called camp eyes. It's funny, but yeah.
Man, I had a question for time that still slipped my mind, but yeah. But good luck, man, and you know, anything you need from us, you know, I'm always here for you, man. Anything you need, and you know, keep an eye on you. Try to come down there. Probably gonna ride there with your pop, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Hopefully you get that started down this year.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna go for it.
Yes, sir.
Got to. But this Coach Rock, I'm now this Coach Coach Keith, but how you daddy, bro? This is Josh Keith in the lab till next week. We out. Appreciate it.
Y'all know what time it is? You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and O. East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast. And stay tuned in each week. But enough of this. Let's get it.
What's up, East Tennessee? Y'all know who it is. Chili My Car Guy down here at Hopper Auto Sales. At Hopper Auto Sales, we stand behind every vehicle we sell. And if we ain't got what you're looking for, we can go get it. We pride ourselves on getting you in the best vehicle at a price and a payment you truly can afford. Because at Hopper Auto Sales, all we see are happy smiles and happy customers in the best pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. So scan this QR code or head over to Hopper Auto Sales for your pre-approval and the freshest inventory.